Hello and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Deb Gillard, your host for today on this Friday, April 25th. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're finding us on Charter Channel 8, whether you're viewing us on Facebook, on blip.tv, YouTube, all of those options exist for you. We, of course, would not be with you at all if it were not for the generosity of our supporters of the Owatonna Today Show. They include our premier supporters, the City of Owatonna, Express Employment Professionals, Owatonna Public Utilities, Safe and Drug-Free Coalition of Steele County, and United Way of Steele County. Primary supporters are Little Theater of Owatonna and Amy Swain Hearing Centers. Our interlude supporters are TPS Insurance, the Third Hand Incorporated Video Productions, Steele County Transitional Housing, Steele County Historical Society, Snap Fitness, R&K Electric, Profinium Financial, Owatonna Foundation, the Owatonna Business Incubator, Napa Auto Service, Clancher & Son Landscaping and Concrete, Horizon Eye Care Professionals, Fairview Animal Medical Center, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Carlson Branstad and Company CPAs, Brookdale Senior Living, Clarebridge and Sterling House, Glenn Mager and Tim Thomas of the Brick Mager Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Brenda Bednar Mortgage, Bremer Bank, and Abraham Consulting Technologies. If you would like more information about show supportership, Leanne would be very happy to get you that information. Either shoot her an email at owatonatoday@charter.net or give her a call at 390-5751. But that, by the way, those are also the ways you can get a hold of us if you have ideas for guests and show topics and things like that. So just get a hold of Leanne and she'll put you in the right direction. Great show information coming up for you today. We'll be coming back from our break and talking about a number of things that are happening with United Way. We have Dave Albrecht with us for that. A little bit later on in the show, we'll be getting a City of Owatonna update with Kris Busse. So let's take this break for some of those great supporters, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
If clothing catches fire, stop, drop, and roll. If your clothes catch on fire, do not panic and run. This only fans the fire. Stop where you are, drop to the ground, and roll over and over to smother the flames. Cover your face with your hands to protect your eyes and your throat and lungs from the burns. This has been a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, my name is Dave Olson and I'm with R&K Electric, where we provide power to the people. We're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Linda Anderson and I play Sarah.
And I'm Ann Skanesny and I play Mandy in LTO's current production of Time Stands Still, directed by Craig Berg.
Performances of Time Stands Still will be held Friday and Saturday, April 25th and 26th at 7:30 p.m., with a matinee on Sunday, April 27th at 2 p.m.
And again the following Thursday through Saturday, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at 7:30 p.m.
Tickets are available at the LTO box office by calling 451-0764 or online.
Don't miss LTO's production of Time Stands Still.
Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us on this Friday, April 25th. Dave Albrecht joins us, president of the Owatonna Hospital. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Good morning, Deb.
Trust you're doing well. Trust you had a great Easter. And
we did.
And all is well at the hospital.
Nice weather, finally.
Yes, yes. So in addition to your very busy life at the Owatonna Hospital, you also are, and we were just talking ahead of time about the hats that you wear for the United Way. So you're on the board, and then it goes deeper than that.
On the board of directors, been on the strategic planning committee for the past 4 or 5 years, and also chair the new health committee of the United Way that we're going to talk about today.
Yep, and we will be getting a little more into that. We want to start out with just identifying for folks who may know a little bit or none of it or more about the Bremer Bank grant and the funding that's going on, which again is going to lead us into the other topics of conversation. So just a little bit of history on that, if you would.
It was about 3-4 years ago. The United Way took a different change, I guess. We adopted a strategic plan that said we just didn't want to be an agency that collects funds and meets needs, but we wanted to start to change lives. And through that process, we applied for a grant from the Bremer Foundation to help us kind of look at our community, assess our community, and figure out exactly what we could do to make systemic change that would start to look at disparities in income, education, and health, and be able to make some improvements, particularly with the low-income minority populations. So Bremer Bank granted a $225,000 amount, and that really went to fund a project we began with a company by the name of Rainbow Research to conduct a comprehensive community assessment, disparities in those three areas, some of the barriers, the lived experience of some of the people that are confronted with those things, and what then would be some good community initiatives that we could take on. So that was the initial part. And then the second part, which is part we're just going to be beginning on, is an implementation plan. So Rainbow Research is going to continue with us, funded by the Bremer Foundation grant, to look at implementation and what we can do in our community.
Okay. Is it kind of just what I'm hearing, and maybe this is not the way you would describe it, but is it kind of the United Way taking a more kind of proactive approach in the community? I don't want to ever say it was reactive. It wasn't, but it was certainly, and always has provided great services.
Yeah, I think what the United Way, sitting on the board, what we saw is that, you know, we would do our annual campaign, and we had reached a dollar figure of about $500,000, which is a lot of money for our community. But yet we kept hitting about that target, yet the agencies kept saying that needs are growing, and so we were really starting to having issue with not enough funding, and so what we said is we really got to start to look at ways to reduce dependency. We're not going to eliminate anything, but probably manage the safety net or reduce the need for the safety net agencies that a lot of the United Way funding goes toward.
Okay, that is a very good way of looking at it, and thank you very much for that clarification. You're starting with kind of a strategic roadmap, per se. I said I'm looking at a flow chart, but it is a roadmap of things that you're looking at. And tell us a little bit about how that's working.
Well, last week, the board formally adopted a position as to where it's going to place its emphasis, and it had to look at factors for income, education, and health, and it actually picked up on trying to reduce the number of people in our community, the percentage of people living at or below the poverty level. It's a big task, but what it came back to is a couple of things. First of all, when you looked at health disparities, so much of people's health is determined by their socioeconomic status, their income, their work conditions. That's 40% of what determines a person's health is in that particular...
It's in that category.
It's in that category.
Wow.
And then another 30% are just behaviors and health habits that are learned over time. So between those two, it's 70% of what determines. And in the low income ranges, those health disparities are even more significant. Also, from the education standpoint, one of the determinants of schooling success is family stability, which goes back to income. There are lots of barriers to achieving working level or, living wage jobs. And as we listened in the community, we heard employers saying we cannot find enough skilled workers. We heard our low-income groups saying we cannot get living wage jobs, and then we've got a community college in the area that's enrollment is declining, and they're saying we can offer more in terms of education. So the three of them really coming together would be a key factor. So that is the initial focus, but income and education are still going to work on the behaviors.
Okay. And so those are two separate, so there's the three different areas.
Right, three
and
planks.
Then, and then you're most closely involved with then the health plank.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And we're talking about improved health, we're talking about things that are already happening, they are existing initiatives in place, and then some that are on the horizon, it sounds like.
Right, and I would say just from a global perspective, there are lots of groups in the community working on health initiatives. There's lots of groups doing things with income and education. United Way's role in this is really two. It's convening all parties to come together to talk about these issues and look for solutions, but also to align efforts so that each entity that's out there working on something, if we could focus on 2 or 3 things in each of those primary areas, we could actually make some significant breakthrough improvement in some of the health disparities that do exist. Okay. So that's probably the biggest thing. Yes, I chair the health plank. We've got things happening around just qualifying people for more insurance, free clinic. Okay. There are a number of things going on in terms of teaching people lifestyle, but it's still getting everybody lined up doing similar things would be a big plus for our community.
Okay. Now, how is this moving forward from here as each of those 3 separate areas are working together? Are you coming back together periodically and re-looking at things, or how is that structured?
Right, and when we look at this overall goal of reducing that poverty level, we're talking about a 3 to 5 year horizon and even beyond. Mm-hmm. Those are systemic changes that have to happen. But there are a lot of interim steps, and we haven't really set metrics along the path, but that needs to be done yet. Mm-hmm. What will it mean that we're making progress on these particular issues? So along this roadmap, we will have mile markers, if you will, that that will help us guide us to say, are we doing the right things? Okay. The other thing I would say is that this is a United Way-led initiative, but the community really has to embrace it. So we're going to be talking to a lot of the employers. How can they be involved? Health literacy, how can our churches be involved? How can the existing United Way partner agencies play a hand in this? Okay. How can county and city government play a hand in this? We all have a role, and we need to convene together in order to gain that alignment that I was talking about.
Okay, so that's part of the message, is getting out there, really looking at, how can we help?
Right.
Who's out there in the community? Who's part of some of those organizations and businesses that can help you along the way?
And some of our, and the 3 groups will come back with some things, specific initiatives, but then, yes, help. And those are some of the next steps that would be defined in that action plan. So we don't make any mistake that what we're taking on is huge. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take a community effort. United Way, again, is a facilitator, but we as a community really need to embrace this work for it to be successful.
Well, it sounds like an amazing thing to be doing. It also sounds like an amazing amount of work and a lot of participation needed from a lot of different sectors of our overall community, and good for you and good for the United Way for helping to be that facilitator.
Yep, and if we're successful, we will have an amazing community, even more amazing than it is today.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing to
again,
look at. Okay.
Huge challenge, but we have an opportunity. The question is, are we going to step up and make it happen?
Okay, so we will look forward to updates in the future here on the Owatonna Today Show and out in the community as we hear of things going on, and look forward to hearing some really great things happening, knowing that it's going to take some time, but baby steps is always how something gets done. So good for you, Dave. Thank you very much for your work with the United Way and with the specific strategic planning and health area of it. So thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
This morning.
Bye-bye.
Let's take a break for our supporters, and we'll be back with the City of Owatonna update.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Have you talked to your teen about marijuana lately? Maybe you should. Regular marijuana use can sap a teen's motivation to learn. Users do not live up to their potential and drop out of positive activities. Marijuana affects memory and learning and stays in your system for weeks. Marijuana also affects judgment and perception. Reaction time when driving is reduced by 41% after smoking 1 joint and 63% after smoking 2, affecting the safety of your teen and other drivers on the road. You need to talk to your teen about the effects of marijuana use. It's not just a harmless high. For more information, please contact the Steele County Safe and Drug-Free Coalition.
Hi, I'm Doug Johnson with the Owatonna Business Incubator. We're here to help small businesses start and to grow. We're a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome to Bremer Bank. I am Jason Iberg.
And I'm Shannon Pedersen.
Bremer is a full financial services bank.
We invite you to stop by Bremer Bank and experience the Bremer difference.
You are always welcome at Bremer.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us on this Friday, April 25th. And we have our City of Owatonna update. City Administrator Kris Busse, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
And you're going to have to refresh me with your actual title, Tim Truelson?
Assistant Recreation Director of Programs.
Okay, see, I knew I'd leave out a word or two if I was left on to my own devices. So we'll be talking about some things having to do with the Parks and Rec Department. But Kris, I know you kind of wanted to start with a little updating City Council polling places.
Polling places. Well, we want to make sure we get the word out on this. I'm putting my glasses on to be serious and make sure I get it right.
Good girl.
So we had to change a couple of polling sites. As you know, the National Guard Armory is going under some major renovations, so it's no longer available to us.
Okay.
So we will move that precinct to Emmanuel Lutheran Church at 750 Jeffrey Street.
Okay.
Now that is for Ward 3, Precinct 2 folks.
Okay.
Now they will receive a notice in the mail, and we're of course announcing it on our council meetings and whatnot, just to kind of get the word out and just remind everyone that your polling place has changed. So that'll be for the primary and the general election.
Okay. Is that the only one that's changed?
No.
No.
Another one.
Okay.
So if you are in Ward 4, Precinct 2, you used to use the Community Center building on the Steele County Fairgrounds. And so we are moving that one because that conflicts with the opening day of the fair, and it's usually kind of, a very congested spot.
Yeah.
So we are moving that to the Steele County History Center at 1700 Austin Road. Now the History Center carves out their parking separate from the fair, so we think that'll work very well for us going forward. So
not actually moving too far. Just
no, right. You're
across,
still in the precinct.
Yep.
But yeah, those are for Ward 4 Precinct 2 and Ward 4
and
Ward 3 Precinct 2. Yeah.
Okay. And again, more information will be coming out.
Right,
You'll get reminders. You'll see, hopefully, as few people as possible will show up at the wrong place.
Exactly.
That would be the goal, right?
Yes, that would be the goal.
To make sure they get where they're going. Okay.
Right.
Any other things happening with the City Council?
Well, we've had some exciting economic development things coming forward. Daikin, as you know, is doing a 120,000 square foot addition to their building. They're going to be adding about 40 jobs, so we're very excited about that. That's going forward. We're helping them out with a TIF, an Economic Development District, for 9 years for about $2 million to assist with some of those costs, those construction, demolition, and that sort of thing. So we're very excited about that. And then Johnston's is also doing some work, their downtown location, also their southtown location.
Okay.
And they'll be adding roughly about 100 jobs, too.
They will?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Wow. That's
so
huge.
there's just a lot happening.
There is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're excited about it.
All righty. Anything else from the upper
city?
Oh,
I guess one other thing, too, just to mention, as I'm talking about economic development, Vision Processing is doing a 15,000 square foot addition to their facility. They're the ones that make the K-Cup stuff.
Exactly.
And they're adding about 20 jobs. So everybody's just moving.
That is awesome. That is really great to hear that we are just continuing to grow in the economic development area. All right. And then Tim, there you sit in your husky blue. How are you?
Good.
And we want to just get a little update from you if we can. It's coming up on probably the busiest season, correct, for Parks and Rec?
Yeah, we had our soccer kickoff last week, and
is that a pun? Soccer kickoff.
Kickoff.
Not a very good one.
Yeah, we went inside last week. So as I get older and wiser, I say, we utilized the Four Seasons Center last week, so everyone is now on a team. They have a schedule, they have a shirt.
All right.
It's been kind of after last year, especially the spring we had, we kind of learned that this is probably the best process to go about that. So, and then we start this week with outdoor practices.
Okay.
We have 800 plus kids in our 5-year-old through 6th grade program, so it is our largest program in Park and Rec. So. We'd like to thank all the sponsors and all the youth volunteer coaches. I mean, we have about 150 volunteer coaches, which is
Amazing.
Fabulous.
It is, and that's across the sports. So
Yeah.
it's not just soccer. We've got what else coming up?
Our next registration will start May 2nd.
Okay.
And for
Around the
those,
corner.
for those that have registered since fall, we do have a new registration system.
Okay.
It's called Max Solutions. So if you have not set up an account yet, you want to go on to the city website and then go on to the Park and Rec website.
Okay.
And you can set up an account on there. And actually, you can start registering at 12:01 on May 2nd.
So if you really want that swimming lesson class,
Yes.
then you want to wait up until midnight. Okay.
And we do apologize. There was some confusion on our last registration here in spring, and there's some people that were not aware of that, so they couldn't get into privates. But as we go along, it is a new process, and we are trying to get the word out as best we can. There was a flyer that went to the schools last week.
Okay.
There'll be a brochure coming out in the People's Press here end of April. Telling about our next registration period, but that will be for our summer swimming lessons.
Okay.
And you should have if you want to get in privates in the summer, it's a lot easier because we do have 3 sessions. A lot of our summer our summer instructors are back and so forth. So we also have registration going on for T-ball, squirt program, for baseball. We also do have, if you like to still get in our fast pitcher and baseball program, of course our new program from last year, our track and pickleball program. We have those again this year. Those are very popular last year. We also do have our tennis program, and also some other wide variety of activities as well. If you go to our website, you can see all the different activities we do have available for our summer registration, starting May 2nd.
All right. Are you finding that, I'm guessing the answer is yes, but are you finding that more and more people are utilizing the online information and opportunity for registration rather than the kind of the walk-in call-ins, things like that? Or you're encouraging that?
Yeah, we're encouraging that. We still had a kickoff this spring at Senior Place, and we saw a good amount of people come in. But as we go along and people find out about the system, I think we'll see more and more.
Right.
Our goal is probably to eventually, maybe by year 2 have a 60-40 and continue to have, get to 70% that people register online. What's nice now is we can have everything on there.
Yeah.
In the past, you couldn't because there was a convenience fee tied in to it. So, for instance, if you put private swimming lessons on there, it would cost an additional $15 to register online. So we didn't think that was advantageous to do that.
No, probably not.
So now everything's online. The only exception is if you do want to register for a scholarship, which we do encourage those that do want to get involved in our program, they do have to stop in our office to do that. We're still working a process to try to do that online, but we haven't got to that point yet. Also, another thing that we're working on is our pavilion registrations as well.
Sure.
You can register for those online. We've had some issues with that, but hopefully here in the short future, we'll have that online as well. And you'll see more things. This system is very a great system for our department. Kind of all our Brooktree Golf Course, Senior Place, everyone's on the system now, so everything's tied together. So that's very good for our department from that standpoint.
Nice.
So,
and as people get more comfortable with it, and like you said, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but they'll get more and more comfortable with it and registration and how to use it and the wealth of information they are able to find there. You mentioned scholarship. I was just going to go backwards to that one a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about that program and how it works?
Yeah, our scholarship program is a separate entity from the City of Owatonna. It's a 501c, and we do have a board made up of community members, social workers, teachers, and so forth on our board. And ever since I've been here for 15 years, we never used a tax dollar. It's always donations from tournaments, from individuals, businesses in town, memorials. So it's been a great program. We asked the individual to pay 40% of the program cost, and then the scholarship picks up the rest. But there's individuals that can pay more, there's individuals that can pay less. So we'll work with you. We just want kids involved in programs, and that's the key at this level. So I'd like to thank all the individuals that have donated to that over the years. So
yeah, I'm guessing you probably hand out a number of those. every year?
Yeah, it's usually between
families in need.
Usually it's between 300 and 400.
Okay.
Up to the tune of $10,000 to $12,000 on a yearly basis.
That's significant.
So, yes.
Right, and we like to see those kids active and involved who may not otherwise have that opportunity. So I know it's a great program, and like you said, they can get a hold of you for more information and head online. I'm kind of anxious to go on there now and see all the information that I can find, and certainly go on and get those registrations going for the summer program. So thank you, Tim, for joining us.
No problem.
Thank you, Kris, for joining us. And again, we'll look for those information, those two folks that have to change that polling place. Not two folks, two areas.
Precincts.
Precincts, and they'll be getting that information as time goes on. And we look forward to having you back again next month.
Sounds good.
All right, Kris. Tim, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll take a break for our supporters, and we'll be back to wrap up.
Hi, Warren Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress.
Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do.
Owatonna Public Utilities.
And it's time to wrap up this Friday program on April 25th with a few announcements going into this weekend. Tomorrow morning, Saturday, April 26th, it is the Bark and Rec event that we've been talking about through the week, going on from 9 to 1 at the Steele County Fairgrounds Four Seasons Center. You're supposed to bring that little doggy, little big dog of yours, whatever you have, and they'll have all sorts of things there, information and treats and all sorts of fun things. That is a partnership between the Parks and Rec and Steele County Humane Society. There's a complimentary screening clinic in Owatonna for children with orthopedic conditions. This is from the Shriners Hospital. If you have a child or know of a child who may have a bone, muscle, or joint problem or needs a second opinion, you're invited to that complimentary screening. It is tomorrow morning from 9 to 12. It will be at the Owatonna Public Library in the Gainey Room on the 3rd floor. If you would like more information or have questions about it, and please do try to make an appointment if you can, again, between 9 and noon tomorrow. 456-2069 is the number to call, 456-2069 to get more information or to sign up. Steele County Clothesline is having their Spring Style Show coming up tomorrow starting at 11:30 for social time. At noon, it begins lunch and the fashion show. Tickets are $25. Come and see all the latest fashions from all sorts of entities around town, and all proceeds will go to benefit your Steele County Clothesline. So chances are, if you're going to that, you probably have your ticket for that already. Likewise, Dancing with Our Steele County Stars is going on at the Medford Auditorium. That will be tomorrow evening as well, and that's benefiting healthy seniors, which we heard about earlier this week. Riverbend Nature Center, they are exploding with spring, and you're invited to join naturalist Amber Brassard, if I said her name correctly, this Saturday as well. This will be going on from 6:30 to 8 p.m., an evening hike to listen for and identify some of the commonly heard spring sounds, and aren't we in the mood for those, I'm telling you. Frogs, birds, maybe even some insects. This program is $2 per person or $6 for family, free for Riverbend Nature Centers. You can go ahead and give them a call if that's something you would like to find out more about. And the Owatonna Elks Lodge is collecting rideable bikes for the Elks Youth Camp. Anyone who has a bike that they could donate, please call 456-5636 or 363-6577, and pickup will be provided. Coming up next week on the Owatonna Today Show, you'll have your plant ladies talking about Senior Expo as well, health and wellness initiative going on, Good Shepherd Nursery School, exchange students at the Owatonna High School, and Amy Swain Hearing Centers all on the docket for next week. You have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.